Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the launch event of the TVS Credit Effect Campus Challenge Season 4. We are very excited to have you all join us for this super exciting event. Let us first begin with a short introduction to TVS Credit as the company. From the largest cities to the smallest villages, India is filled with ambition and enterprise. As Indians from all walks of life set out to write their growth story, our timely and affordable credit empowers them to bring their dreams alive. As part of the 8.5 billion TVS group, we empower Indians from various socio-economic backgrounds with financial products that serve their needs. In doing so, we further the cause of financial inclusion. We are here to give the customers the freedom to pursue the biggest aspirations and the smallest ones too. We do so through a range of thoughtfully designed financial products backed by caring service and intuitive technology, a combination that becomes a wind beneath our customers' wings, elevating them to the height they aspire to. Through this competition, we are looking for young minds, thinkers, and doers, people with passion, curiosity, and conviction, people who are eager to break away from the conventional thinking and who want to make a mark, or in other words, be epic. Let us go through a quick video which will help you set the roadmap to the TVS Credit Epic Campus Challenge, the structure, and the rewards. Interesting, right? So let's just sit tight as we begin the session. Do note we have a question and answer session towards the end. So if you have any questions, please just share the same in the chat section. I will kickstart the session by introducing to you our panelists for today. First up, we have Ms. Jayesh Shubha, who's our Chief People Officer,
Hello, good evening, everybody.
Mr. Charandeep, who's the Head of Marketing and CRM, Rupa Kumar, who's our Chief Financial Officer, Sojunya Alluri, our Chief Digital Officer, Mahesh Kalabai, who's the Chief AI and Digital Officer at the TVS Group. A very warm welcome to all of you for today's session. Thank you for joining. Now, I would like to request Ms. Joshua to take the stage and talk about TVS Credit as a place to work. A quick introduction to Joshua before she begins. Joshua has, to her credit, over 2 decades of experience in the HR domain. Has been leading the HR function at TVS Credit and is responsible for setting up the well-defined employee performance management systems, the rewards and recognitions platforms, the HR metrics, using HR analytics, and various employee engagement programs. Over to you, Ms. Jashuba.
Good evening, everybody. It's indeed a pleasure to be introducing, to inaugurating this program. It's like I tell Annie and Charandeep, it's this program itself is epic in scale and the way it's conducted. And this is the season 4, and I'm also aware that the applicants have, actually increased quite a bit. So super excited that you're all part of this journey, and most of you would have got the case study, and you would have seen the case study, I hope. So there's nothing much that I need to talk about the company, because the case study also is going to give you a brief, uh, intro about the company. But to cut the story short, I'll give you a brief history about the company. This company was founded in 2010 as TVS Credit Services. At that point in time, we were a loss-making company. It was bleeding at 50 crores, minus 50 crores. Step by step, we grew. In 10 years, we became the fastest growing NBFC in India. So as we are growing, the journey of the systems, processes, the various important levers like analytics, IT, everybody grew along with it. And it was like, the classic example of you're driving a car and you're repairing it. It was like that. But at the same time, the company realized that we need to have fresh blood, fresh thinking into this organization. We started the campus program 5 years back. We currently have about 70 people as management who's joined as management trainees from various campuses in this college. And I'm sure you're all active on LinkedIn. You must have seen their feedback and what they've been doing and all that. So as a company, we've been very nurturing for youngsters, always open to new ideas. I would think one of the thing is we believe that we need to grow people from within. One of the target that we've taken is 70% of our hires should be from within at supervisory and managerial level. So we believe in taking freshers with the right aptitude and attitude and grow them to senior management levels. So that's how the epic session was also came in. As a company, we also are considered one of the leading players in the the digital, the fintech space, and in the in the NBFC industry itself. We are reckoned for this, and I am sure you will enjoy working with us. It's going to be win-win for both of us, and I hope we learn from you. Cheers.
Thank you so much, Jashuba ma'am, for your inputs. Next, we have with us Mr. Charandeep Singh, who is the head of marketing and CRM at TVS Credit. Before we have Mrs. Charandeep, I just want to mention again, if you have any questions, any queries regarding the Epic challenge or about TVS Credit, please feel free to add it in the comment section or the chat section of the video. Um, Introducing Mr. Charandeep Singh. Mr. Charandeep Singh has has over 18 years of experience in marketing, sales, CRM, and strategy across BFSI and automotive companies. He has led various initiatives in brand communication, market research, digital businesses, analytics, and customer relationship management. Over to you, Mr. Charan.
Yeah. Hi. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us for this launch of season 4 of Epic. Uh, as Shubha mentioned, it has been a great year for us. We already had some 36,000 registrations, which is the highest number of registrations for Epic ever. And we are still counting. I think we will cross 40,000 registrations. So the competition is really heating up. Uh, uh, I was I thought Shubha has already talked about the organization, so I'll spend some time talking about how Epic is different this time. Uh, Firstly, this is the first time we are having a media partnership with Business World, so winners will get featured in Business World. So that's a really big boost for participation this time. There are of course PPIs and PPOs on offer, so people who reach the second or third round will get opportunities. This year, our campus ambassador pool really grew large, who spread awareness, and that has also is one of the reasons that the program picked up in last few days, and we are getting good registrations. Uh, Marketing department, right? So our marketing function is like truly a mixture of old school marketing where storytelling and content is at the center of it. And at the same time, we use technology and a lot of digital channels to reach out to the hearts of our customers, to ensure that we are able to tell them in what ways we are able to empower them to fulfill their aspirations. So I think that's a very interesting or purpose for us here at marketing and CX team, that which drives us, that why are we working here. I think that's the purpose which drives everybody in my team. uh, our team is pretty young and energetic. Everybody is very passionate about the work which they do. Marketing team offers opportunities to management trainees to work on very challenging and live projects which have real world impact. uh, in fact, I'll give you a insight that this entire epic program was designed in the season 1 by a summer trainee, and till now we have largely followed that format. Even this year, the two new MTs have actually handled the entire program, and no regular resource has been used for it. So I think that's the kind of challenging and real life opportunities are given to the people joining marketing and CRM team. I would wish everyone best of luck for the round one, which starts next week, and for the subsequent rounds. Thanks. Cheers, everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Charandeep, for your point inputs. Before we proceed, again, I would request all participants to share their questions in the chat section. We will have the Q&A session towards the end. Our next speaker is Ms. Rupa Kumar, who is the Chief Financial Officer. Ms. Rupa is the CA and a seasoned finance professional with over 20 years of progressive experience in India and US. Her expertise lies in managing accounting transitions, treasury management, organization building, governance, and stakeholder engagement. Over to you, Rupa, for your inputs.
Oh, hi. Hi, everyone. I was on mute and, gone ahead with the presentation. Hi, everyone. Thanks, Annie, for the introduction. A very warm welcome to all the participants in this challenge. I represent the finance function. We have designed all the modules in the EPIC challenge to be very relevant and very engaging for the participants. So, welcome and formally kickstarting the EPIC 4 challenge today. The first job is very important in anybody's career. So, from that perspective, the very aspect of why we use this challenge is to look at the bright minds in the industry, what best is being offered by the young minds today, and make it more sharper and relevant. So all the modules that are designed in the EPIC challenge are very relevant to the context of the curriculum, what's context of what's happening in the industry. So from that perspective, the entire finance module has been designed around what's important for a company to look at in terms of looking at mergers and acquisitions, looking at where the money has to be invested in, what's the right fit for the company. So I'm very excited and eagerly looking forward for the presentations from the participants. One quick thought, if I have to use the acronym EPIC to what we would like to see from the participants, is E for enterprising end-to-end view of your assignment, progressive problem solving, integrity and an integral part of the assignment, and the fourth is the confidence with which you present the challenge. So that those are some of the key things that we would be looking at it. So all the best to all the participants, and wishing this epic season 4 a grand success.
Thank you so much, Superman. We are really excited to have the Kickstart Epic Season 4, and it's compared to all the previous seasons, it's larger, bigger, and going to be more exciting and amazing challenges lying ahead. Next, I would like to invite Mr. Mahesh Kalabai, who's the Chief Digital and AI Officer at TVS Group, the leader with expertise in product development, strategy, innovation, technology, and operations. Over to you, Mahesh.
Yeah, thanks, Annie. Thanks for the warm welcome introduction. Warm welcome from everybody for everybody. Wanted to talk a little bit about the analytics challenge here. Firstly, I'm sure all of you have seen that artificial intelligence, machine learning, data sciences, data engineering, these buzzwords used, and that's essentially what we do in data analytics at TVS Credit. Analytics actually started in the financial services industry, and we've really taken the mantra of using data to make robust decisions for our consumers, as Annie mentioned, for India that is progressive. That's essentially who we solve for, right? Now, when you talk about essentially the analytics challenge, it entails using the distribution of data, uh, the power of mathematical algorithms, computing power, and lastly, it is curiosity and creativity, right? And we have given you problem statements, business cases that we work with every day, and that's would love to see your creativity and curiosity in action. So, all the best, folks.
Thank you so much, Mahesh. Next, I invite Ms. Saujanya Alluri, who's the Chief Digital Officer. She has over 20 years of experience in large-scale digital transformation in the financial industry in functions such as lending and payments, digital strategy, cost of optimization, fintech, and customer journey. Over to you, Saujanya, for your inputs.
Yeah. Good evening, guys. And maybe what we see is like NBFC, right? NBFC is a technology company with financial services. It is like a fintech company, and we technology is a heart for this company. As you know, right? We are in the lending, and we do lend consumer durables, mobiles, and two-wheelers and MSME lending. And when it comes to technologies, right, we use wide varieties of technology for mobile applications, so Android and iOS development for the loan origination systems, and core Java for the loan servicing systems. And we use a lot of Oracle for databases, and CRMs, customer relationship management. And we have a lot of latest technologies, like we are moving to the cloud, and we are setting up DevOps and containerization. I think I want to treat TVS Credit Services as a high tech company, and where kids like you or youngsters like you can explore a lot of opportunities. And what we see in the Epic challenge is mostly your innovativeness, your approach to the problem, your design thinking. These are the elements you have to focus, and with the right attitude and right purpose to the challenge. And I think all the best, guys, and be participative, and be winning that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Saujanya. Um, Next, we basically have a quick Q&A, a quick question and answer session. So if you have any questions, please feel free to add it in your comments so that we can pick up the questions. We already have a few questions that have come in from the campus ambassadors who had signed up with us. So I'll just start off with the first question that we have. So in the meantime, the other students, you can just put in your questions in the comments section so that we can, and who do you want to ask these questions to? So we can pick it up from the chat. The first question that I have is from Mr. Varun from INT Ghaziabad. His question is his question is to Mr. Charandeep Singh, and he asked, how does your marketing strategy in tier two or tier three cities differ from those in tier one or metros? Because customer expectations, needs, and behavior vary so much. How do you generally manage these differences in your marketing tactics?
Annie, can you repeat the question? I lost some parts of it.
So his question was, how does your marketing strategy in tier two or three cities differ from those in tier one cities or metros, as customer expectations, needs, and behavior vary so much? How do you generally manage these differences in your marketing tactics?
Okay. So, if I have understood the question correctly, basically, the question is that how geography impacts our marketing campaigns or
Yes,
strategy, right?
yes,
Uh, so before I answer this question, right, one thing is there that while there could be multiple channels depending upon which city or which tier city you are targeting, whether it is rural or urban, but of late or last few years, the digital channels have kind of bridged the gap in certain ways, right? So there are certain channels which are available to everybody now because of mobile phone, or a lot of video consumption is happening. So from channel point of view, maybe there are nuances or differences, but digital is trying to bridge that gap to some extent. But the major differences in strategy comes, I think, first, I strongly believe that while you can have as much technology or as much number of channels which are additional or digital in nature, but the core to any brand is still the story of the brand. Like, what are you really standing for? What are you really communicating to the customers, right? And now when you're communicating to the customers, of course geography creates variances in terms of firstly the language of choice, right? If you are talking in Tamil Nadu, you will have Tamil language. If you're talking in some other state, you'll have that language. But even beyond that, there are certain nuances or relevant points which needs to be kept in mind, right? So in Tamil Nadu, just saying things in Tamil may not work, right? What are the kind of words which are colloquially used? uh, so therefore, one of the things which is very important geography wise is that how localized is your content, how are you using language, dialects, and nuances, and the points of relevance to the customer segments out there. I think that is very core, and that keeps varying across geographies, and we have to always keep a close eye on that. Alternatively, one can always create communication which is universal in nature, right? That's what most brands do, that you create a emotion which is universal in nature, and that's also a attempt that while your creative expressions might vary, but the brand's emotion is very universal. Like our brand's emotion is that we help empower people to fulfill their aspirations. We are not saying that as a brand we are doing a lot for you. We are saying that you have your dreams, you have your aspirations, and you need a little nudge, and this brand provides that nudge to you. So I think that universal emotion, and develop a very localized creative expression is the way uh, the brand storytelling varies. But at the same time, there are tactics, there are challenges which varies not necessarily because of geography only, but also because what are your levels of awareness or consideration or the intention to act on that consideration. So we do track these metrics through our brand tracks and brand health studies, and we come to know that certain geographies our awareness is low, so the programs there would be largely awareness focused, like you do a lot of BTL activations or you do a lot of catchment area storming programs. But if the areas or the geographies have higher awareness and the consideration is an issue, then the communication and the point of sale related tactics, so people are coming to inquire about you, but they are not getting persuaded by you, right? So the communication and becomes needs to be more persuasive. Maybe there the benefit driven or offer driven communication will work more rather than overall what does the brand stand for. So that kind of things vary not necessarily because of geography, but we have seen that in our brand tracks different geographies have different metrics for awareness and consideration. There could be certain areas where awareness and consideration is very high but action intent is poor. So there largely the marketing strategy would be very tactical in nature, where you will give consumer promos or trade promos to make people get interested in you. In terms of communication also, the brand tracks give us indicators in terms of what are the associations people have strongly with the brand. You try to play on that. So I would say that, not just necessarily geography, but what stage of recall or awareness or consideration we are, both put together will change the tactics. So that would be my answer to the question, the way I've understood it.
Thank you, Mr. Charandeep. Hope Varun, this answers your question. The next question we have from Aditya Modi from SCMHRD Pune, and his question is to Mr. Mahesh. And the question goes, how does TVS Credit analyze the risk for customers who have no credit history or are new to credit? What are the innovative practices at TVS Credit?
Yeah, a lovely question. That is our secret sauce, right? Because we work with India, and as you heard from Charan, our endeavor is to fulfill our customers' dreams, right? And majority of India today is still unbanked or underbanked, right? And they do not have a credit history. If you look at developed economies where the idea of credit has been there for a while, there are credit bureaus established, and 95% of the consumers that a banking institution would consider for credit already has some sort of credit history. Very different in India at this point, right? We have majority of Indians who have not considered credit at all, who are youngsters such as you, right, who are graduating with a lot of aspirations that need credit. And what we look at is we look at who the consumer is across several lenses, right? And that is where we leverage techniques of machine learning and deep learning across several categories. It could be demographic categories, psychographic categories, understanding both intent to pay and ability to pay, right? Not just the first EMI or the second EMI, but 24 months, 36 months out, right? And that's essentially the power of data sciences, and that's what we bring to bear every day. I've been very conscious not to give the particular variables. We've given a couple of business cases that are very similar business problems. Look forward to your fun and creativity, folks. All the best.
So thank you, Mahesh. The next question, I have it from Susan from Examly Bhubaneswar, and her question is to Ms. Saujanya. The financial sector is undergoing digital transformation with services like automated loan applications and disbursement processes to reduce the loan processing time. What innovative techniques are being adopted by TVS Credit to beat the competition?
Yeah, I think, can you hear me right, Anna?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's a good question and very stimulating. I think that's what is the game of the lending, like the speed at which you process the loan. I think we have a lot of STP process, straight through processes, where we lend it within 2 minutes, within 3 minutes, 5 minutes. And we use a lot of, as I told in my introduction, we use a lot of mobile technologies, and where we supply the mobile applications to our sales force, which who are the dealer partners, and then we onboard the customers with not only the dealer partners, any other digital channels also. And we have a lot of mobile applications where we simplify the customer journey. Instead of taking 100 fields from the customer, right, we take minimum fields for them, for us to acquire the underwrite the loan and acquire the documents, and then give the decision. And we use a lot of technologies for it, like lightweight Android or lightweight iOS apps. And when it comes to loan servicing, we use a lot of Java technologies. That's where we transforming, simplifying the customer journeys, simplifying underwriting processes, and simplifying the paying to the customer, especially with it is like a one-click journey, two-click journey, minimum documentation. And as Mahesh told, right, we use a lot of analytics even to create a risk score for the customers on the fly, that is integrated into these mobile apps, so that we can take the right decisions. We can provide the loan within 5 to 10 minutes. Yes. Yeah. At the same time, so we have integrated a lot of fintech partners, account statements for Perfuse, and so many other tech partners, Karza for something, account aggregator, UPI. There are so many other payments, so that you can write a mandates as and then. That's why we are using a lot of fintechs technologies to make the process simple. Yeah. I think it's a long answer. Sorry. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. All right. So our last question, I'm going to be taking it from Manish from Exim. This question is basically to Ms. Rupa. In the current times, when your banking and other financial services have started, this short-term loan products, how does TVS Credit create a benchmark and a factor of differentiation among them in this category? Rupa, ma'am, you're on mute.
Yeah, that's a very good question. So we look at our capital, which is very scarce, and then allocate it to the products which gives the high return for our business. So it's high growth, high return. Having said that, we also look at the risk parameterization of every product and allocate capital to where the risk and reward matrix is suitably placed. So, in your question of how do you look at short term products, that's the question, right, Annie? How do you look at short term products for the growth of the
So,
company?
so how does TVS Credit create a benchmark and a factor of differentiation among them in this financial category, in short-term loan products? Yes.
So, we are balanced, on the asset profile as well as on the liability profile. We are a very balanced company. We are not skewed towards highly short term or highly long term. We have a good balance mix of 40 to 60. 40% is our short term products and 60% is our long term assets. And we have also managed it on the financing side through optimum mix of short term liability versus long term liability, which is comfortably at 25% to 75%. The levers for why we choose what we do are critical levers like return on assets, growth segments. From a financing perspective, we have to look at the asset liability matches, and the risk reward. So I think these are the four critical levers with which we decide which products to launch and how do we allocate our capital. And yeah, that's the answer. If you have any further questions, happy to take it.
All right. Right. So that's about it. With this, we basically have come to the end of this exciting virtual launch event of Epic Season 4. A huge thank you to all our leaders for taking the time out and joining us today. And of course, a huge thank you to all the participants for your enthusiasm and support. And now it's your turn to take the challenge and be epic. Before we log off, a reminder to all the participants that round one will be held tomorrow for all the tracks. So make sure you put your reminders and take the challenge. We wish you all good luck for the competition. Thank you from us, from our side.